Hey, all you magical beings out there, welcome in or welcome back. My name is Tara, and I've been reading tarot for over 2 decades. My intentions are to shed light on the unknown and provide confirmation for what is already known. Take what resonates and leave the rest. So grab your snacks, your crystals, or your cat, and let's see what cosmic mischief is about today. Hey, y'all. So for today, the reading is going to be a little different than my last few readings, although every reading is definitely pretty different. But as far as like the process that I've been taking, I'm definitely swaying off of that. So I didn't do like a pre-pull like I normally would as far as like the details. I just did a pre-pull as far as the decks that Spirit guided me and the tools that Spirit guided me to use, which is what you see on the table, and how many of each Spirit is asking for me to draw from for each one. Now, the only thing that doesn't have any number that we could draw from is this book, the Handbook for the Recently Deceased, which, because it's empty, and we are definitely going to dive into that because I'm sure there's tons of reasons why this came up. So to get started, I guess what we can do is let's start with what's it about, Spirit, as far as the Handbook for the Recently Deceased. Okay. So, let's see. Spirit is saying about an astrological placement and a date in history. Interesting. And then we got 2 more. A being that must be protected at all costs. This seems to come out a lot in these collective reads. I must not be, maybe it's something I'm missing with it. And horror. Oh. Horror. Okay, so that should be interesting. I mean, this is from Beetlejuice, the movie, in case anybody watching, like, isn't familiar. And Beetlejuice is kind of like a horror, but it's more like a comedy, I guess. I don't know. I love that movie. It's, like, one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. I love Beetlejuice. Alright, so that's what we got for that. And then we're definitely gonna, dive in a bit deeper with that one. So we're going to start with this, and then we'll do the rest. We're going to see what the time frame is about this placement and try to figure out how to look up the chart the best we can. Okay, so present came out. An astrological placement in a date in history. So it's talking about the present date, which would be August 3rd. No, August 4th. Stays August 3rd, yeah. Alright, so today's August 3rd of 2025. And this is saying a placement in history on August 3rd. Okay. And I guess we're gonna look up like the ask about the place that it's the pharmacy. And so now we're going to spin the wheel and see where the heck is Spirit trying to guide us with this astrological placement. My handy dandy little pointer thing. Alright. Spirit, where is this astrological placement in a day in history? In the South Atlantic Ocean. Interesting. Okay. Near Brazil to the east, I guess it would be, of Salvador, not El Salvador. Let's see. It's near Ascension, UK. Trinidad, Martin Vaz Island, St. Helena. Okay, something about that area is significant to this reading, to this astrological placement in a date in history. So now I'm going to just do the astro dice because we need some clarification on this, and I can't really like narrow it down any more than that. So something about a pharmacy related to that area in the past, and August 3rd. So we got Leo in the 11th house, and that is Saturn. Yeah. So for Saturn in Leo in the 11th house, the transit suggests a period of reevaluation and potential challenges within social circles and aspirations. Individuals may experience a need to redefine their goals and possibly face disillusionment with friendships or group affiliations, requiring a more mature and practical approach. Astrology sources say this transit can also bring opportunities for growth and change within professional networking, but it may also require confronting cynicism or disillusionment related to friendships or ideals. So, friendships, social groups, long-term goals, reassessment, potential changes in these areas. It can create tension between the need for practicality and the desire for external validation. So essentially something happened, I feel like it's saying, and related to like somebody and a being that must be protected at all costs, and a group of people in the ocean in that area that Spirit wants to call to light. And it has something to do with a pharmacy, which I'm thinking maybe something with like medication. Maybe there's some kind of like, since it's horror, like some kind of situation where somebody OD'd and they were poisoned or something like that. Okay, so we're gonna definitely dive deeper on that, but that's definitely a place to start. Okay, so next we are going to see what this horror situation is about and confirm or negate what I'm saying about the pharmacy. Let's see. do like plot cards, I guess. Oops, I just whacked the camera with my head. Sworn I just heard a card fall, but apparently not. Alright, so what is going on with the plot involved in this horror? Well, horror in itself is a plot, I guess, but you know what? So I decided to pull from the conflict cards to see like what kind of conflicts are coming out here. And just to clarify, okay, so they're saying 5. So we got ocean acidification, aging population, which that came up in another reading as well. So that's definitely, there's something really going on there. And it's interesting because that's when we did the locator, it came up in the ocean somewhere. So ocean acidification, in case anybody doesn't know, means like the ocean's pH level is not where it's supposed to be. So it's affecting literally everything, even people on land and animals on land. Like it has a widespread effect because it affects like one animal, say like a crustacean, by thinning out its shells, and that has like a butterfly effect and essentially causes nutrient depletion for people for humans, for all creatures. Like the nutrients in sustenance is declining because of that. And then the aging population could have something to do with this group of people that perhaps was involved in this scenario. They may have done something to try to avoid aging, and that's kind of like what and then they caused like all these issues with like, it has something to do with, yeah, there's a lot going on here. Okay. Okay, this came up too. Your home is a mess. Oh, geez. Your home is a mess. Now, what that's making me think of, though, my first thought is not actually like anyone's physical home. Although somebody watching, maybe your home is a mess, and that's just spirit being funny and being like, "Hey, clean your ish up." But I think it's talking about like Mother Earth, like the ocean is a mess. Your home, it's your home, like, and it's a mess. Like, hey, hello. This matters. All right, what else? Regional conflicts. Interesting. So whatever this is related to, it has something to do with like a regional conflict. Okay. One more for the conflict of this situation. Racism again. Oh my God. Okay, so like, I mean that there's clearly like some interpersonal conflict going on in this scenario that spirit wants to bring to attention that happened in history in the past, and it has to do with racism, people arguing that are from different regions, the aging population, ocean acidification. Yeah. All right, we're going to continue with the rest of the decks and then see how it all like connects. I think we got enough information for that section, and then we'll like relate it to the rest. All right, so next we're going to do the shamanic healing. And Spirit called to draw 6 from this deck. I need to be less like controlled with my come on, cards pop out. You know, I'll flip to 1 if a card doesn't want to come out, because this one called for 6 cards. So yeah, we're just gonna flip So anger was actually in the reverse, but we're not doing reversals for this because this is shamanic healing. It's just, you take it for what it is. All right. Transformation. Oh. These cards are slippery. Omens. Reunion of souls. Masculine energy. Self-love. Oh, and look, these have like very similar imagery with, I mean, it looks like that's the sun. It also looks similar to a sunflower, like the center of a sunflower. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. All right, so what is this about, Spirit? This popped out. Mars collective consciousness. Interesting, because we got conflict going on, masculine energy, anger, all associated with Mars. Let's see. 4. Okay. Quest for identity, coming of age, or midlife crisis. So self-love, learning who we are, and then love, falling in love with who we are. That's simple as that, really. Quest for identity, coming of age, or midlife crisis. So yeah, someone's going through it. Okay, what else? About one specific person / being. Okay, yeah, we got that. Being that must be protected at all costs. One specific person being. What else, Spirit? One more. Overcoming guilt and self-forgiveness. Okay, those are all very, very intriguing. What's it about as far as this goes? So what I'm getting from this automatically is just basically what I said before as far as like the Mars energy with the anger. Somebody is struggling with anger problems. Spirit is calling them to a transformation and saying that there's signs all around that this transformation needs to occur. It's like very what's the word? Pertinent. It's very pertinent. There is a chance for a reunion of like-minded souls, or a reunion of souls that would make whoever this being is happy. But that can only happen once this transformation takes place. And this has to do with somebody's masculine energy. Perhaps they are leaning in too much to the feminine energy. And they need to, or they have like toxic masculine energy going on. So there could be like a need for balance there. But I think it's saying like there's toxic energy going on with the anger and then overcoming guilt and self-forgiveness. And so learning to love oneself, forgiving oneself, overcoming guilt. Okay. So that's how we heal this situation that's going on. I would suggest, if anyone's resonating with this or identifying with this so far, I would suggest looking at your chart and looking for any aspects with Mars, any type of fiery stuff going on, fiery energy, and relate that to relate that to the situation. See what's going on. Might be like, I would look at maybe the transits, your transit chart or your progression chart. And if you don't know how to do that, or you would like my help in doing that, I do provide that service. All you have to do is just, I guess, you can email me at, let's see, which email? T-Nest. We have, T as in Tom, N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, 1002 at outlook.com. And just put in the subject line, like, request for an astrology reading. Also do personal readings. And just let me know. Okay, so next we're going to see, and then we're going to, like I said, we're going to put it all together at the end, but we got to get through all of this first. So the next deck that we're going to pull from is the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. And Spirit asked to draw 2 cards from this deck. I'm going to try to speed it up here a little bit because we got a lot to get to, and I want to make some shorter videos. I've been throwing out a lot of hour ones. Throat chakra in the reverse. What else? My throat chakra is feeling a little sore right now, to be honest with you. I feel you on that. Move in the reverse. Okay. Throat chakra, move in the reverse. And what is this about, Spirit? A being that must be found. Okay. A being that must be found. A being that must be protected at all costs. That's so interesting how both of those came out about one specific person / being. Spirit, could you be any more clear? Thank you so much. So this being perhaps lost their voice. This being could be you. This being could be somebody you know. It could be somebody that is affecting your reality and a lot of people's realities. That's why it's coming out here. And essentially this is saying, like, without reading the meanings of the cards from the book, we're going to take it at face value. Like, we need to get a move on and finding this being, whether that be like our self-identity or somebody else. Okay. So, a being that must be found. All right. Let's get some clarification on this being, since that seems to be coming out so much. How many archetypes would describe this being? Just one. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Short and sweet. That's what we like here. That's what we like. Sometimes that's what we like. We like in-depth and long stuff too. Depends on the kind of mood we're in, right? Okay, we got the orphan seeking kin, driven by a desire to find their true origins or family. Their journey intertwines with larger events. And we got Elsa from Frozen. All right. So, let's see what this being has to say. They want to say 4 things. because their throat chakra is apparently not working too great. So let's see what they want to say. Let's put that over there. You know what? Let's move this so we got a little more room here. Right? Jeopardy music would be great. Da na 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 na. Huh. The pressure in this room just dropped, and I felt like I'm hearing an immense ringing in my left ear, which is usually indicative of, I guess they either say somebody talking good about you, or good news coming your way, or a good being just entered your presence. Okay. So we got, actually, I think you'd find that most people have a pretty massive problem with that. Okay. So maybe talking about, like, these issues going on. Because I was saying, like, anybody that's not, like, familiar with this, ocean acidification. So perhaps this group that, like, is causing mayhem or has caused mayhem in the past towards this being, whether that be you or somebody else, I think this person's wanting to say, like, that, like, they're calling them out on their BS, basically. Like, the other party basically was like, oh, well, it's really not that big of a deal, and nobody cares. And they're saying, like, actually, I think you'd find that most people have a pretty massive problem with that. Yeah, if people really understood, like, what's going on with ocean acidification, for example, definitely, I feel like they would care if they really, truly understood how badly it's affecting, and, like, knew that it's really happening and not some hoax. Quick, act surprised. So to me, that's saying something about, like, having to put a mask on, having to put an act on. So basically they spoke their truth, and then they have to pretend that because they became in danger or something, I'm getting. Not quite sure, but what have you done now? So to me, it's almost like it's kind of doing a timeline of dialogue between different people, too. Alright, I got interrupted. But anyway, so... and actually, the interruption was about somebody having a nightmare about people getting injured. So I wonder if that has any type of significance with this situation going on. You can't come back here again. What have you done now? You can't come back here again. Quick, act surprised. What have you done now? So, like, maybe somebody else was, like, friends with this person in this group that was, like, doing these bad things, and they like, maintain the act, and once they found out that this person, like, came out with, like, their dissatisfaction with the group's actions, they went up to them and they're like, what have you done now? Or this is the person saying, like, what have you guys done now? Quick, act surprised. Like, oh, real surprised what happened. Like, seeing, like, the results of whatever they did. What have you done now? And like, oh, you did something else. You can't come back here again. Like, you can't come back from this, maybe? Or, like, they didn't allow this person to go back home. So that's why they need to be found. Huh. Yeah. Orphans seeking kin, driven by a desire to find their true origins or family. Their journey intertwines with larger events. So perhaps this person, whether it be you or somebody else, was on a journey to find their ancestral origins, family members, Perhaps all of their immediate family, they never even knew them, or they're all passed away. Maybe they were, from a young age, they were put in an orphanage. They don't know anything about their family. So they ended up going on this journey and became entwined with whatever these larger circumstances are that are going on. And, yeah. Alright, so let's see real quick what the north node of this person is supposed to be. Aquarius north node. So that talks about like being for the people. Lessons and rewards around themes of balancing between craving the spotlight and your inner humanitarian, learning to accept alternative points of view from others, embracing your weirdness, and marching to the beat of your own drum. So honoring your integrity and keeping a heart-centered focus on the collective and what's going on with that. So, okay. So what are some hobbies and traits of this person? Let's do 2 positive and 2 negative. Positive, laid back. This trait completely prevents the tense emotion from triggering. By the way, if you've never watched any of my readings before, I use trait cards from the Sims 4 game because I love that game. And I find it super useful. Survivalist. Okay, this being provides extreme emotional buffs and physical security buffs if they are camping with gear or without. Okay, so like, you know, if this is talking about somebody that's literally like been taken and like not being allowed to be like go home for their knowledge of whatever, it's saying that what's working for their benefit is their laid back attitude and their ability to survive in dire circumstances. What's not helping them? Quick learner. This being experiences a small boost in the gain rate of all skills. So maybe they're not a quick learner, or they learned too quickly like what was going on and they jumped to trying to do the right thing, and that's costed them in the end. Well, we're not at the end yet, that's why we're doing this reading, but like it costed them as far as like getting restricted in some way. Piper, unlock songs, or it could also be saying like they're not using that to their advantage. Piper, unlock songs that can otherwise not be played and of which can significantly affect other beings who are listening. Ooh, like pay the piper, Pied Piper. Wow. Interesting. So it's saying, I think it's saying like Spirit is saying that this person holds that power and they're just not using it to their they have that at their advantage and they're not using it. So something with their throat too. Unlock songs that can otherwise not be played and of which can significantly affect other beings who are listening. And their throat chakras in the reverse. They're not using their ability. They have an ability with their voice. And it could be because like they from using their voice, by jumping the gun and using their voice, they got overthrown and taken essentially. So that's making them like not want to do that, but it's Spirit is, I think, calling this person to step into that power. So with the throat chakra, what helps is wearing like light blue, green for Mercury for communication, emeralds, what else? I would say those are the main ones right now. Amethyst could help as well. So, alright, next we're going to move along to the Tree of Life Tarot, see what that has to say. Spirit guided us to just draw one card, so that's an easy one. These cards are kind of like fluffy, like they're not... It's a little hard to shuffle these index cards. We got the Magician, Will, Manifestation, and Focus. The Magician. Alright, so, I mean... Hold on. What is this about, Spirit? The Magician. The quest. And the quest, it was saying quest for identity, coming of age, or midlife crisis. The Magician. So, honing into that magician power. We see power here in one's voice. And it seems to have a magic type of ambiance going on to it. So as far as this quest for identity, coming of age, or midlife crisis, what are some motivations and goals that this being could benefit from having regarding this quest? Oops, we dropped a bunch of cards. Well, escaping invaders came up, and that's very fitting. And right under that was escaping homelessness, which I feel like that has to do with the survivalist thing. Like, they're having to survive in like very tough circumstances. And their home, they were taken from their home, whoever this is. Like, they're not being allowed to go back home. And your home is a mess is saying, like, I was saying earlier, like, maybe I was talking about the ocean, which it very likely is, but also it could be saying, like, the home of this person is a hot mess because they've been gone for so long. Serving others. Again, that's definitely confirmation with the Aquarius North Node that we just talked about. Alright, next we're going to pull from the Gypsy cards. And Spirit asked us to draw 3 from this deck. Seeking clarification on the situation. Spirit, please and thank you. I did like 4 hours of personal readings before this. My energy is a little spent, but I love doing tarot readings. It is definitely my favorite thing to do. One of my top 5 favorite things of all times. Alright, we had a card that wasn't supposed to be in there, but alright, so 3 cards, hand in hand, 6 of diamonds. The Lion presages a sudden shock from bad news. So there's that horror aspect. We got the Jack of Hearts, Angel. The book presages the discovery of a mystery affecting the person for the better in a degree governed by the distance. Okay. A mystery. I mean, we're not taking reversals for this, okay? And one more, Spirit. Inheritance. The scythe presages disappointment and when near the coffin, early death. Yikes. When near the coffin. Okay, so we're not near the coffin, so that's good. The lion presages a sudden shock from bad news. Hand in hand. Well, we're supposed to be doing gypsy. Hand in hand is from... I added, like, my other interpretation book onto that. We're just doing gypsy because that's what Spirit was asking for. Disappointment and when near... Okay, so there's some type of bad news is going to happen. Let's see what Fate has to say about this. How many? 3. Okay. We'll do one for each, I guess. The silent betrayal. Someone you trust acts out of fear or shadow. This betrayal redirects your path. The prophetic dream. A vision, dream, or inner knowing hints at a future event. Trust your gift. Reminds me of the magician energy. Okay. Inner knowing. And then we were talking about all of this, like being a quick learner. Knowing all this stuff. So a vision, dream, or inner knowing hints at a future event. Trust your gift. And then for the last one, the unseen messenger. A message arrives missed or ignored in the past that changes everything. I mean, and if we do take into consideration what it says on the top of the card, because I guess we will, because it is part of the deck now. So I made it part of the deck, I guess. Inheritance, the unseen messenger, a message arrives, missed, or ignored in the past that changes everything. And we got somebody who doesn't know who their family is, so there could be something here with their true, like their lineage is going to pass away. Someone you trust acts out of fear or shadow. This betrayal redirects your path. I feel like this has to do with the friend I talked about earlier, that maybe like they had some type of friend in this situation and they ended up betraying them. Prophetic dream. Or, yeah, like the friend maybe was like, oh, I'll help you, like, find your family. And then they went on this, like, journey and the friend led them astray because they're involved with, like, shady characters. A vision, dream, or inner knowing hints at a future event. Trust your gift. Okay. Alright, so what is the silent betrayal, Spirit? To a secret that affects the health of a large group of people, i.e. your job manufactures poisonous medications. Oh my god, pharmacy. There you go. Crazy. Silent betrayal. Someone you trust acts out of fear or shadow. Alright. And one more. Oh, okay. This one's a little, really, like, rated R, maybe even X, actually. It's pretty bad. Rhymes with grape. So, something with that. That's not good. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean towards another person, but it could actually be talking about Mother Earth. And that would be in line with ocean acidification and also like humanity, like graping them of their health by poisoning the water with these pharmaceutical medications, or maybe causing it. Okay. I'm having serious throat chakra problems. Maybe that's also just like what's going on too. I'm feeling the energy of this person like having problems with speaking their truth. And I think that's a vision, dream, or inner knowing hints at a future event. Trust your gift. Like, pay attention to your dreams. Trust yourself. Trust what you trust your inner knowing. And then as far as this messenger goes, Spirit, Can you tell us more about the messenger, how they can retrieve this message, who they can talk to retrieve this message? Good Lord. Alright, let's see. Who can they talk to retrieve this message? Stepson wanted to come out. Stepson. So maybe, we're talking about somebody who doesn't have family here. Perhaps like their family, their actual lineage got like remarried and they have a stepson, and the stepson knows what's going on here. And once you figure out who this person is, you can try to pinpoint what's going on by talking to this person. And then we're just going to see military man or woman also came out. How many from that? 5. Okay, Spirit wants to address 5 of these. A rehab worker. So maybe this aging parent. Oh, so aging population is talking about like this person's parents or parent. A rehab worker that might have worked with the parent on their deathbed, because that's what it's implying here. An astronomer. Okay, an astronomer. Somebody that calculates and pays attention to astronomical things going on in the sky. They have some knowledge about the situation, about the message. Astronomy. Ignored. Architect. So an architect, maybe of the residence, the main residence, or a hidden location. Architect of where, Spirit, or of what? Cruise ship. Oh, wow. That's wild that came out. Because we were talking about the ocean, being on the ocean. Architect, somebody that created a cruise ship that's related to this person in the family, the kin. A butcher. Oh, God. Somebody does some dirty work, because this could be a meat, like an actual meat butcher, like for regular, like a regular butcher from a deli or whatever, grocery store. I don't know. All right. All right. Next, we're gonna do from the. I believe this is the Lay's Vampires deck. 3. Spirit wants 3 cards from here. Alright, let's see. We got love conquers all, enduring loyalty, eternal love, and lasting commitment. Love conquers all. Enduring loyalty, eternal love, lasting commitment. And it wasn't the upside down, though. I don't know if we're going to take that, but upside down. Transgression, flaws, contradictions, mistake. I said 3, right? Flaws, contradictions, a mistake. And the last card, Spirit, anti-hero, maverick, risk taker, rule breaker, the magician. feel like that's relevant. I'm throwing it on the Magician. Alright, so we're going to read from the book for these cards. And we're going to start with the anti-hero, maverick, risk taker, rule breaker. And I feel like that is definitely like embodying the Magician energy. So you are doing a good thing, but it is unlikely you will wear the garland of the hero or be recognized for any real contribution to the greater good. You are not the kind of being who people acknowledge, and it has been this way for a long time. And that's probably because this person's being hidden, either from just themselves, they're hiding their own self, or they're being purposely prevented from anyone seeing what they're doing or what they did for the greater good. This is because most people are trained to recognize what looks good from appearances, the kind of jobs people have, and the way you humans even talk and walk. This is from the perspective of a vampire, just so to make a little sense here. And the person, the human being you are, is something that cannot be identified and classified simply, but I read that weird. Is something that cannot be identified and classified simply, but the truth is that you have done a very good thing. You are a safe person, a good one, and we could sense this from you, and we wish to acknowledge the valor and the brightness that surrounds you. The deed that you have done will not be recognized as soon as you would wish, but the impact it has will ripple out through the energy of the world, and in return, you will be noticed by many who also will never quite fit in or be recognized despite the good they do. And that, like, brings me back to this, like, embracing your weirdness, marching to the beat of your own drum. Do not take this to heart. Do not allow this to ever prevent you from doing what you are urged to do. And do not allow all the moments where you have been unlike your best self to define you. Overcoming guilt, self-forgiveness. You are a mixture of what people call good and bad, and what is taking place now is a kind of working your way through what you feel you must do to rebalance the ledger in life. This does not mean you will ever receive an award or be offered a hand to shake. You may even fail to be recognized again and again, but now we see you, and so many others see you too. You will find that creatures who are less socialized will trust you and come to you. The young, animals, creatures whose senses are more alert and who rely on feeling rather than what they see. You are a truly beautiful soul in parts, and yes, you have done things that have been called wrong and were. But humans are complex, and they enjoy calling you wrong, for they then feel superior, and they draw attention to their supposed goodness. Virtue signaling. All are the sum of their actions and their choices within their circumstances. Even the roughest and most humble among us can become the hero, and those who are greatest and most seen to do good often are glorying in their own virtues. Do not fear. You are a walker of the night, and yet your time will come. You will inspire love. You are more than those who cannot see you. You are more than those who cannot see you say you are. Their voices are empty. Your life, although strange, is full. Blessing. You are displaying to humans who are thinking too much in boxes with labels that those who do good are not always going to fit a cultural stereotype. And that could actually have to do with the whole, like, racism thing, too. Being stereotyped. Curse. To feel neglect, to feel resentment that others receive the glory for your deeds. So this is, like, the negative connotation of this card. Perhaps now you have chosen this way in order to remain an outsider, so you need not enter into groups in the same way. You are in a stage where you're working very strongly with your unique energy and power. So, saying that, like, you entered into this group of people that did all this horrible stuff, not realizing the horror of what was really going on, and you have extreme guilt, or this person has extreme guilt about that, and currently they might be sitting in that and wallowing, wishing that people could see the good that they've done, but feeling the way of wanting to isolate because they don't want to make the same mistake of entering into this nightmare situation again. So trusting oneself is going to be key here. Working with this card, your individuality is a gift from the divine. You are the only person on the planet like you. You truly are here for a purpose, and you truly are needed here. No matter how modest this purpose, do it well with all your heart, and there will be no more loneliness. So there will be this reunion of souls if you step out of your fear of making the same mistake again, of getting tricked into getting involved with some horrible people, and use your experiences to fulfill this North Node, essentially, is what this is saying. Speak out and say what you see. Don't let the situation bury who you are, because you're super important. So for the transgression, flaws, contradictions, mistake, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will say it really fits in perfectly with this whole message, just like an extra confirmation. The blessing would be, when we go against our integrity, our soul will let us know. And if we continue to deny that inner voice, the universe will show us where we are going wrong. So like the negative would be like crowding out our inner voice, continuing down a path that we know is against the truth of our soul, breaking universal law. Do not crowd out your inner voice. Stay true to yourself. Live and move in integrity. Move with integrity in your voice. Working with this card, making amends, take stock, assess, and redirect, and come back into harmony with the voice of your soul. Yes. So for this card, the blessing is, love is a miraculous state, and some loves are so powerful that destinies change and lives are remade with the crucible of its fires. The curse, or the negative, which this card was drawn in the reverse, a belief that love is powerless when it comes to difficulties, or that it fades, its light dims. So I'm getting this person's super jaded. Working with this card, love can be renewed, reignited, and enduring. Open your heart to the power of love. Know that it is a powerful force. And where was it saying about self-love? Right here. Know that it is a powerful force, and give it a place of honor in your life, your home, and your work. Love is all there is. Work and live from that place where love dwells within you, and your life will be sublime. Good advice. Love is the most beautiful thing that can ever exist, and you need, whoever this person is, whether it be you or somebody else, they need to look within and realize that they have a purpose that's super important, and they are a powerful being, and they can enact great change in this world. They can overcome these horrors of the past, and they need to protect themselves by learning to love themselves and standing in their power and their authenticity. Alright, so last deck, last part of the reading, and then we're going to close this out. I feel like we got a pretty good idea of what's going on here, but we will see. And this is 6, so this is a little... Oh, no, I forgot. We still have this one. Oh, well, that's a good one to end it with. Conflict resolution. Okay. So this is 6. Spirit asked for 6 cards from this deck, and this deck is the Oracle of Shadows and Light deck. Alright, so we got Storm Angel, collisions of belief styles, attitudes, and energies. And you know what? We're going to move this over here. Move these up a little bit. Lady with a botched egg, ancient wisdom. Death in the maiden, invasion, boundaries violated, and dominance. So maybe the whole grape situation was talking about actual. Let's keep drawing. Shallow grave, you miss someone. And from everything that this reading is going so far, I would say you miss yourself, and therefore anybody that is similar to yourself that you would reunite with or commune with if you stay true to your integrity and go on the correct path and get out of this wallowing in self-misery, guilt, shame, regret, because it's not doing you or anybody else any favors, is what I think Spirit is trying to say here. Oops, we got cards going everywhere. All right. Just trying to make a little more room. Okay. Stay. Dried flower fairy, sweet memories. All right, this is like really... Hopefully it'll stay now. Mildew fairy, cleanup time. I did say about cleaning up your house. It's cleanup time. Alright, so that's 6. Let's see. Alright, so the Storm Angel, we're going to read from the book. This beautiful fairy is dressed in storms. Energy around her crackles and sizzles, but she is calm and unharmed. Now it is your time and turn to learn to deal with the energy that is around you without compromising your own. She appears when energies with major differences collide. How fitting. Whole topic of the conversation that's been so far is collision of beliefs and everything with all these people. When intentions are vastly different, when techniques are worlds apart, and when incompatible belief systems meet up. The Storm Angel speaks. There is nothing wrong at all with the difference. Diversity is wonderful. Shadows and light are beautiful and necessary and can coexist in harmony. But certain kinds of difference do not blend. Like oil and water, they separate and cannot exist in harmony. And to me, that's actually like bringing up the ocean acidification issue again. Therefore, like ocean, like with oil spills, you know, water and oil, that can cause the pH of the ocean to get thrown off as well. So therefore I bring change, and when change comes, for some it is simple, easy, and flowing. For others, dramatic, erratic, wild, and full of static. Like I said, I appear when two forms of energy collide, high and low. I then appear to burn away the old and create a clear, fresh vibration where all that is stale and fearful and unpleasant has been cleared away. The wonderful thing about this challenging collision is that while you'll be nudged out of your comfort zone, you'll also realize just how much has changed and how far you have come. The results will be worth the pressure, trust me. When I appear, know that it is natural for people to feel tension, to become even more entrenched in their beliefs, and to refuse to let go. The only approach you can take right now is to clearly and powerfully remain in integrity. There you go. Do not compromise who you are out of a misguided notion of being compassionate. You must speak the truth that is in your heart and stay committed to that truth. Divination message. There may be arguments, even angry situations, anger, and fights at the moment. Withheld energies are being freed so that they can be released. You will uncover the truth about a situation, as no one can lie when this angel is about her work. Any lies, deception, manipulation, and cheating will be revealed. The most important objective for you when the storm angel is about to speak truthfully and act in integrity. The most important objective for you when the storm angel is to speak truthfully and act in integrity, as all is about to become very transparent, and her fierce bright light will reveal all that is hidden so that it can be banished for good. Beautiful message there. Alright, so next we're going to do Lady with the Botched Egg, although I just want to see something real quick over here. Yeah, there's the book. Alright, so Lady with the Botched Egg, I feel like is connected to the Magician energy for sure, and then also this Jack of Hearts. The book presages the discovery of a mystery affecting the person for the better in a degree governed by the distance. So if we're connecting these, the distance is not that far, or it's significant enough though to where I would say this is gonna significantly help. Okay, so ancient wisdom about the lady with the botched egg is one in this lifetime who has been chosen to keep safe and sometimes keep secret deep esoteric knowledge. Throughout history's most troubled times, there have always been courageous beings ensuring that sacred knowledge was kept alive. Even though the world may burn and disasters befall humanity and wars take down cities, there will always be those brave souls who will take the knowledge represented by the botched egg, camouflage it, and keep it safe so that at a later time when the world is finally ready, we can all learn. The lady speaks, my town is on fire, the night sky is full of screams and smoke, and I have done what I can to safeguard this treasure from the sacred library. I will keep it safe, record its wisdom, and ensure that these truths stay alive for a future time. I hope that you understand. So this did say it was talking about something that happened in the past, and there have been elements around here about like, what do we say, what do we not say, mask on, mask off, that kind of thing. I hope that you understand the history of the knowledge you crave and respect and acknowledge the freedom of the times you now live in and do the work yourself. It may be that at some time you too will find my egg and that you are the person chosen to speak of the knowledge others thought was lost. Here we go again with the throat chakra activation going on. And then that leads to this power with the Pied Piper. Or it may be that you too are a guardian of wisdom. If you are, know when to keep silent, know what to keep to yourself, and know that some secrets come to light at the right time. So this could be all tied into the whole thing with overcoming guilt and being afraid to come out because we got fooled. Like that song, don't get fooled or we won't get fooled again. Oh no, 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 no. I don't know that. I don't remember the name of that. I think that's The Who or the Rolling Stones. One of those. Don't come for me, okay? So this is trying to say like just know when to keep secrets, know what to keep to yourself, and know when the time is right to share what you know. I bring you now the symbols of the alchemists, the secrets of the Gnostics, and the wisdom of the magicians and the witches and the herbalists, all saved for this time in the strange form of the egg. Divination message. It may feel to you that you are receiving wisdom from ancient sources and that some of its energy may feel unfamiliar to you, even dark. It is likely that you are receiving messages from times when people like you, misfits and mystics, were oppressed and punished for their natural gifts. Explore at this time something to do with the Renaissance or medieval times and understand that the knowledge was brought through to you, a very fortunate being living in very fortunate times. And this could have to do with the prophetic dream, a vision, dream, or inner knowing hints at a future event. Trust your gift. Where were we? Explore, understand knowledge, very fortunate being, okay. Keep it safe, learn all that you can, explore esoteric symbology, the history of magic and spirituality. Know now that while you are safe, you may wish to keep silent about certain practices. Okay. Alright, so for the next card, we got the dried flower fairy. We're just going to read what the dried flower fairy has to say, because we really need to move the reading along. So the dried flower fairy speaks. Do you remember that time when you played with the fairies in the garden? Do you remember when your imaginary friend was more real than your own parents? And haha, like, not really haha, but like, interesting how it's talking about that, because we got the orphan seeking king card. More real than your own parents. Somebody might have resorted to imaginary friends, that kind of thing, due to that reason. What about the first time you ever noticed your shadow quivering in the light, swam in the sparkling sea? There we go with the ocean again. Held hands or exchanged glances with someone you liked more than just friends. Hand in hand. The silent betrayal. That could be why not wanting to do that anymore. When you were given a gift for no reason, hugged by a friend, had a perfect day, found messages from angels in the clouds. Oh, look, angel. Messages. You seem to have forgotten all the precious moments, so I've been busy gathering them up for you. I now return them to you, so your sadness can be transformed. Let happiness, bliss, and gifts for no reason become possibilities you believe in again. When I see you smile and treasure a moment from the past and the present, I know my work has been done. You may soon be experiencing little reminders of some of the sweetest, most fun and uplifting times in your life, the kind that have no great significance historically, but in the story that is your life, there are pivotal moments. It could be seeing a rainbow, a star shining bright, or a photograph of your father holding you closely in his arms, or receiving the knowledge and sudden realization that something you did made a large and meaningful difference to someone else's life. You have so many jewels. It's time to sift through the precious moments in memory, and by honoring these and feeling them again, change the present for the better. The magic of your sweetest memories will be worked into the present moment, and your current struggle will be momentarily relieved, and that transcendent feeling of being one with all that is will return, giving you strength to go on and do what must be done. So gratitude, coming back to a attitude of gratitude, seeing all of your life as objectively as possible and pinpointing these moments where it was truly beautiful, and holding on to those and building on that, not focusing on all this horrible stuff. Alright, so the next card is the Death and the Maiden. And we're going to read the whole one of this one because I feel like it's super relevant. About Death and the Maiden. A leering skeleton is looming over a beautiful maiden. A beautiful naked young woman. Oops. And doesn't seem to have any idea of how its presence is affecting her. It is not aware of and is not interested in her response, her reality, or her needs. The skeleton represents true death, the relentless ego, and is way too close to comfort. The vulnerable young woman is cowering and feeling herself frozen as its unwanted hand touches her. So basically saying, like, letting go of this ego, like going through an ego death, learning to love yourself. Death speaks, I am full of needs. I am hungry for life force. I need to be close to this young one, as she has all that I long for and all I have not created for myself. I will simply hover about her and take from her that which I want, her warmth, her energy, her emotions, and her beauty. She is an extension of me. What I want, I will take, and I love her too, very much, so much I may just consume her entirely. Oh, wow. The maiden speaks, I thought this was love, but now I can see and feel that this is invasive. It says it cares for me, and yet it just seems to want to take from me. This no longer feels right. But I feel helpless and vulnerable. What can I do? How do I break free? And what if what it says is true? That it loves me and I am fearful for no reason? Divination message. There is a very out of balance relationship between you and another at this time. It may be that you are death, taking too much and imposing on another, and all the while blind as this skeleton to the truth. Or it may be that you are the maiden and have no defenses against another who is draining you, claiming all the while to love you. You may have been drawn into the drama and color and entertainment of a relationship that is full of highs and lows and passion, but you are now discovering that it is tiring, draining, and lacking in respect. It is time to truthfully assess this relationship and take steps to be safer, more protected, and more respected. Do not attempt to convince death of its problems. Geez, page 10. Real people will only draw closer, cling harder, and convince you that you have a problem. Wait. Oh. Do not attempt to convince death of its problems. Those real people will only draw closer, cling harder, and convince you that you have a problem, not them. You may feel fear as to what they will do once you separate from them, as they are vindictive and malicious. Freedom is worth the trial of separating. Ask yourself, is this relationship healthy for me? If the answer is no, then you must take steps to go. So this is just all about integrity, staying true to yourself, separating from this people who are doing horrible things. Not letting them trick you into thinking that that's love. And also how, if you're out of this situation, you're still stuck in this trauma, realizing that, like, you need to let go of that aspect of self that these other people that you're involved in this traumatic incident were embodying. Don't let yourself fall prey to that, because you have opportunity around you to affect positive change in the world and make up for any perceived slights that you have going on. And it's just a matter of believing in yourself and staying true in your integrity and not hiding due to fear. Also, if one is being constrained and restrained, the answer here is knowing that you have the power within you to break free from that situation. And it all has to do with your voice and the methodology that you have within you to share your voice and significantly affect other beings that are listening. Alright, so next up we got the mildew fairy cleanup. So with the mildew fairy, it talks about a situation appearing to be disgusting, but they're not. The situation is not what it seems. Some things just look like they're yuck, but they're not. They're very good things, and they can be powerful and helpful when used in the right way. So to me, that's talking about having this knowledge, that ancient wisdom that the lady with the Bosch egg was referring to. Having this knowledge of whatever these events are, these going-ons, and speaking out about it, knowing that you have the power, these disgusting, horrible things that you may have been a part of unwillingly or unknowingly, and then overcoming guilt and self-forgiveness with that by speaking up and using your voice, and use, like, all about transformation, the butterfly wings. Like, we got multiple butterflies here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 butterflies. Is there a butterfly in the egg too? No, I think that's a bird. Yeah, that's wild. I'm pretty sure there was another butterfly somewhere else in this reading. We got the caterpillar transformation right here. Voila. So taking these horrible things and using them to your advantage to fulfill this North Node. Think of ways to decrease stagnant moisture, stuck emotions, and increase airflow, fresh thinking in your home and environment. When the mildew fairy comes to pay a visit, it's likely things are a little stagnant, a little over-emotional, and that fresh new air and thoughts need to be brought in to clear the situation up. She can mean a fresh way of thinking, or a fresh point of view, or a release of emotions that could be pooling in one area. Her appearance never means covering up. It means working with the environment you find yourself within. Like the mildew fairy said, a little of her can be medicine, and a great deal of her can be maddening. Where she turns up will tell you lots about what needs a fresh new approach in your life, and if she is inside, lurking in cupboards, or in the bathroom instead of decorating pebbles by a pond, you know that the presence of unhealthful, it's not even a word, energy needs to be addressed, not rationalized and excused, and never ignored. So yeah, it's cleanup time. We got the card, your house is a mess, somewhere over here. Your house is a mess. Where was that one? Right here. Boop. Your home is a mess. And we gave several examples of what that could be talking about. Your actual home, your homeland, the ocean, Mother Earth. It's cleanup time, though. It's cleanup time. It's time to get our ish together and get out of this mess and clean it up, all right? Next card up, Shallow Grave, 29. Oh, and we got 28. So we got 28, 29. All right, so automatically this card is giving me vibes of, like, whoever the friend was that was perhaps involved in this cruise going on, whether it be you or somebody else, whoever this reading's about, the being that must be protected at all costs that we've been talking about this entire time, they missed someone. It could be that, or it could be the father, which I'm getting the father, that ends up passing away, that they never met. Perhaps the father didn't even know about them, or they couldn't care for them for whatever reason because they were involved in all this crazy stuff. Somehow this is all connected. Or the father felt guilty. The masculine energy coming in, self-love, that could also be referring to all of that. So in essence, the child, the orphan, reflecting the pain of the father because generational trauma, right? That kind of thing. And it's just like mirroring each other in a way, I feel like. And then it was talking about, like, in one of the cards, I'm not sure, I don't remember which one, holding hands with the father, give an example about that. So that's why I think that it's like talking about that. So let's read what the book has to say about shallow grave. This beautiful young woman is missing someone deeply, and she knows perhaps for the first time what it is to lose someone. Missing someone can be very hard. It feels like a physical ache, and our hearts can indeed be broken because we humans have the capacity to connect like no others in the universe. We love, and we love so deeply that love can continue even when the form we loved is no longer with us. If you have received this card in a reading, it is time to acknowledge just how deeply you have yearned for someone's return and how much that person's loss has affected you. That being could be a friend, a pet you loved, a grandparent or parent who has left, and missing this is so strong it sometimes is a physical hurt. There's a deep sadness here, and it cannot be eased by denying its presence. And once this is done, you could put what's missing to rest and visit from time to time, but know that you have been truthful with yourself and that your sadness will change and be a part of your life's beauty, not its pain. She speaks. It is time to let something go, but before you do, let's take a moment to acknowledge what this was to you. Know that this meant so much, and that by returning it to the past, getting spiritual burps, guys, rather than yearning for it in the present, you are creating a future that has a greater freedom to it. There are opportunities for fresh starts all the time, each day. My freaking robe keeps getting caught in my wheels. Okay. Rather than yearning for it in the present, you are creating a future that has a greater freedom to it. There are opportunities for fresh starts all the time. Every day, in a sense, gives you a clean slate. For you, this sense of starting over is immensely important after you have grieved. You need to feel that something has been laid to rest and will no longer trespass on the present. Life is kind of like that. So much of what happens isn't about what's actually happening, but thankfully, you will blossom and grow with fresh relationships and love after mourning this lost one. Sentimentality, holding on to the past, idealizing the past, refusing, not allowing yourself to get over a breakup with a friend, a move to a new town, a faded romance, parents who have divorced, or something you're convinced that you must have back in order to be happy again. Mourning for what was and what you feel should have been. Very deep sadness, and yet this experience has been of great value. It is time to move on and to place all of that to rest. Working with the element of earth is most beneficial when this card and fairy come to you. You may wish to plant a memory tree, something earthy and growing that changes to commemorate your lost love. Oh, that's beautiful sentiment. What a great idea. As it grows and changes, you will heal. Memories will be sweet and sad without bitterness and pain. The earth takes forms and changes them and gives back to us what we let go of in new forms. It is time for you to stop hanging on so sadly to that which has long passed. Mourn and then come back to us ready to live again. So I absolutely love that. That's, just ties in everything all perfectly together. I don't think there's really much more to be said with that. If this does end up being somebody's father that passes away, that they never even possibly even met, that message will definitely help, I feel like, and put a positive spin on things, even though it sucks, Alright, and then lastly, but not leastly, conflict resolution, 3 cards. So these are recommendations to solve this conflict on top of everything else we already discussed. Accommodating is unassertive and cooperative. In this mode, you try to satisfy the other person's concerns at the expense of your own concerns. Unassertive, and in this mode you try to okay, so to me what this is talking about is when we were talking with the lady with the botched egg in the ancient wisdom. Know when to hold your tongue, know when to hold a secret, and know when it's time to speak. And this is saying, feeding into that, attitude when something's not right and you're around people you can't trust and there's danger afoot, not to just have to blurt out that you're not happy with it. Play your cards right and make sure that you're in a position of power to where you can actually enact the change that you'd like to see first. That's what I'm getting from that. All right. Removing a physical obstacle, so a being that must be found. So like, I think there's something there with that. Also could be talking about the environment one is living in, with the whole being a mess. It needs to be cleaned up. Capitulation / surrendering. So what I'm getting from this is related to the accommodating, knowing when to surrender your ego and play your cards right, and then also knowing when to surrender your ego when it's not serving you and making you not live in your north node, hiding and feeling guilty and all of that, and being in despair. So surrendering to those things. Yes. Fantastic advice. Thank you so much, Spirit. This was a beautiful reading. I really hope that somebody gained something from this reading, whether you related to it or not. Hopefully it helped you in some way, even if that was just entertaining, right? Alright, guys. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.